there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we are in Normandy, where the D-Day beaches are, and the ruined cathedral that Monet painted, and all kinds of great stuff here in Normandy. Fantastic people, all kinds of stuff. And today we have for you our 10 things that are going to shock you when you do come here to Normandy. And I'm not going to lie to you, the first thing that's going to shock you is how moving it is when you do go to the D-Day beaches, and you go to the cemeteries, and you really get a feel for what happened on D-Day during World War II. June 6, 1944, when the soldiers from the U.S. and Britain and Canada and there's just from all over came here. And when you go to the beaches and you see where they had to come from to go through, and you flash back to watching Saving Private Ryan, and you go to the American Cemetery at Omaha Beach, and you go to their visitor center, and you learn about the story of the guys and what they lost and what they sacrificed, and the stories, you can really feel what these guys went through, and you're just like, oh my God. I mean, you will tear up. I mean, if you're a heartless person, you will still tear up because the sacrifices they did, the stories that are there, you can really see it. And so when you come here is that really moving moment when you are seeing those crosses in the cemeteries, and you're seeing the beach and where the battles were, and you're going to the museums to get a background on there, you really can feel it. And it is extremely moving. I mean, I was in tears. My kids were in tears. My parents were in tears. This will happen to most people when you come here because it can be extremely moving. So make sure when you do come here, check out some of the museums before the D-Day Beach and Normandy battles and Normandy museums before you go to the beaches and cemeteries to get that background. Because when you go to the cemeteries and you hear those stories, and you go to the beach and you see, man, they had to make it 800 meters up that with bullets flying by, and they knew they were going to die, and you're just like, damn. I mean, it is insane. So that's the first thing that's going to shock you, is how moving it is. Now, the second thing that's going to shock you when you come here is actually the number of memorials and museums to D-Day and the Battle of Normandy that there are. Like I said, pick your museums beforehand so you have a better understanding. But dude, there's an insane number of them. If you want one for paratroopers, there's one by Utah Beach in Sainte Marie Église that's shaped like a parachute. It talks about the paratroopers and the rangers coming in. And if you want, an Operation Overlord, there's one on that. If you go to Omaha Beach, there's an Omaha Beach Museum right there. If you go to Bayeux, the Battle of Normandy Museum in Bayeux is fantastic. Give you a great overview. There's one in Caen. There's so many museums and memorials here because so many people lost their lives, and there was such a turning point in the war and such a big part of world history in the last 100 years that yes, it is a very moving thing, like I said before, but it's just insane how many museums there are. And there's even, when you look at things you don't even think about seeing, is the third thing that'll shock you is there's actually German cemeteries here too. Because when we think about D-Day, you think of the U.S. soldiers and the Brits coming in and the Canadians and these kind of things. But what you don't realize is, you know what? The Germans died too, and there's German cemeteries. You're like, whoa. Yeah, I never thought about that. And that is kind of shocking when you drive down the highway and you see, oh, the German cemeteries right there. What? Oh, wow. And so that's the third thing that'll shock you. So the first three things all have to do with D-Day. Now, the next shocking things, I'm not going to talk about D-Day anymore, okay? So get away from that. Now, the fourth thing that'll shock you when you come to Normandy is when you first see Mont Saint-Michel, probably one of the most photographed places in France. I mean, aside from the Eiffel Tower or something, And the thing is, when you see Mont Saint-Michel, it's basically an island. It is an island, and then sometimes the water goes away and it's not an island, and then it is an island. The thing is, it's this abbey on top of this rocky outcrop in this bay. And when you go there, you see it on the horizon when you're driving up. You're like, there it is. It's like when you're a little kid and there's something there. Smokestacks, Daddy, I saw them first, or I saw the arch first, or I saw the Sears Tower first, or wherever. You see that, you're like, oh, I saw Mont Saint-Michel first, and you see it in the horizon on the bay. And the quicksand bay that people used to walk through to do their pilgrimage. It's one of the foremost pilgrimage sites in Christianity. And you go there, and it is a fantastic thing. But when you see it, and when you watch the water come in and surround it, and it becomes an island while you're on there, it is just unbelievable. It is such a beautiful place to go, and it will shock you how beautiful it is and that feeling you get when you go there. And another shocking thing with Mont Saint-Michel is actually in the summer, in July and August, the Abbey is open until midnight. I mean, nothing's open until midnight in France, but you know what? Mont Saint-Michel in July and August is open late. So that is the fourth thing that's going to shock you, is how beautiful Mont Saint-Michel is, and watching the tides come in, and it actually stays open late. So there's your fourth thing. Now, the fifth thing that's going to shock you is more of an anti-French kind of thing, because when we think of France, we think of vin, we think of wine. The thing is, here, we don't drink wine. In Normandy, well, they do, but what you drink here is cider, Cidre. And if you want something a little bit stronger, you have Calvados, like kind of apple brandy, okay? this is what Normandy is. It's apples and it's cream and stuff like this, and it's cider and calvados. That's what you're drinking, not so much wine. And that's kind of shocking to people because they think, oh, well, French, all it is wine. Oh, no, not here in Normandy. Normandy, you've got apple cider. And yes, this is adult apple cider. You can get apple juice for the kids, but this stuff, pretty good, okay? Now, the sixth thing that's going to shock you about coming to Normandy is the rustic beauty that is Normandy. And the thing is, when you travel around here, when you can rent your own car and get around, you will see these amazing villages with, stonework barns and manor houses. And you see you can hear the geese and the sheep behind me sometimes. You really get back to nature and that rustic beauty. When you think of like rustic France, this is it. It is just gorgeous to go around and see kind of natural France instead of the polished nature and tourist nature of Provence or Paris and stuff like that. Here, you really feel like you're in the heartland of France, and it is really great when you drive around and see the apple orchards and you see the manor houses and the stone barns and stuff like that. It's just gorgeous, and that's what's really cool. Is when you come here, you kind of have this juxtaposition within actually Normandy, because if you go to lower Normandy, where the D-Day beaches are and stuff like that, in Bayeux, you have kind of this rustic beauty. And then if you go up to like the north or the upper part of Normandy where Rouen is, which is gorgeous, and on Flow, you have much more of a polished beauty. I mean, it's just such a great thing, but that rusticness when you come here, you really feel like, wow, I'm kind of going back in time when I'm exploring these places, and it is great. And that kind of leads into the seventh thing that's going to shock you is how many cool things actually are in Normandy aside from the D-Day beaches. Because all you ever hear about is, oh, the D-Day beaches in Normandy, D-Day beaches in Normandy. And yes, you do have Mont Michel, which is fantastic, but you also have other great places to go visit, like Rouen, one of my favorite towns in France. Actually, our top 10 France video was actually filmed there. We've actually looked at living in Rouen, and they have the cathedral there that Monet painted dozens of times. And you got the great clock that's there and the history of Joan of Arc that's there. Or you can go to Honfleur and see the fishing villages and go in there and take that, or go to Deauville and you can go to the beach things. There's so many cool things to do here aside from the D-Day beaches and the world famous Mont Saint-Michel that it's just so cool to do that. And when you have all these different things, it really shocks you is how much does this kind of back part of France actually has for you as a traveler, and it is really cool. Now, the eighth thing that's going to shock you is when you go to Bayeux and you see the Bayeux Tapestry. This is the history of William the Conqueror and how he became King of England in 1066. You have the Battle of Hastings, and this 70 meter long tapestry, it's a whole museum, it just wraps around, okay? And the thing is, it goes through the history of King Edward of England and how he told Harold, look, tell William, my cousin, that he will be king when I die. And Harold goes on his adventure to go down there, and he gets stuck in the quicksand by Mont Saint-Michel and saves some people there. And then talks about William and how William eventually finds out that Harold went back and took the crown. And it literally is all embroidered into this tapestry, and the detail that's in there. They show like the battle with people's getting their head chopped off and arms chopped off and taking off the dead soldiers' chainmail and the horses and all these kind of things. I mean, it's just amazing. And there's Harold with an arrow in his eye when he dies and stuff like that. And you just be shot like, wow, this is from 1,000 years ago. It is an amazing UNESCO World Heritage Site that you really have to see. So definitely check that one out when you are there, because it is shockingly awesome how it's set up. And they have a really cool guide that really goes through each one of the panels, which is really nice. Though it is kind of shocking that they actually turn off the pause button sometimes in the summer, because so many people come through and it gets so packed that they can't let you pause and enjoy. You just kind of walk through. But don't worry, they give you time to enjoy it while you walk through, so you will be okay. All right, so just heads up for that one. Now, the ninth thing that'll shock you when you come here is, look, this is France. English is not the biggest language here because it's France. They speak French. And the thing is, though, here in Normandy, if you don't speak French, it's okay. They're cool with that. No one's like, oh, you don't know. They'll actually be helpful with that because there's so many tourists that come through here. They're totally cool that, yeah, I don't speak English so well, but you know what? It's okay you don't speak French so well because we're tourists. We're tourism. We're helpful. And you'll be shocked how nice the people are here, how helpful the people are here. And what's crazy is I was filming the video and a guy came up to me and gave me a bottle of Calvados just to say thank you for coming by, thank you for enjoying Normandy, because the people here are shockingly awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love French people. All the stuff you hear about horrible French unfriendliness, those are waiters in Paris. That you have that in any tourist city, okay? Outside of the waiters in Paris, people in France and in Paris and everywhere are great. But Normandy, they take it to another level in their friendliness and their, it doesn't matter if you don't speak Frenchiness. I mean, it's just so cool, and that's kind of shocking when you come here, because you come in and they're so friendly, they're so helpful. You get lost trying to find your B&B, somebody will help you on the street. The farmer will. Either they don't speak English, which they probably won't, don't worry. but they'll be helpful with directing you on your way, and it is so great when you come here. And yes, sometimes you end up with some calvados as well, and some cider, and some of the sable shortbread cookies, because the people aren't that freaking awesome here, okay? And the 10th thing that'll shock you is how relaxed you can be when you come to Normandy. Because when you come to France, you kind of think of hustle, bustle, tourists everywhere, running you around in Paris with the tour groups going through and knocking you over, and going up the Eiffel Tower, smushed up, and trying to find a place on the beach in the Côte d'Azur, the French Riviera. It's so frustrating and intense and stuff like that. But when you come to Normandy, you'll be shocked how easy it is to relax, how easy it is to find a bed and breakfast or a gita, like the stay in the barns or the bed and breakfasts and stuff like that, to just really relax and chill out here in Normandy. I mean, it really is kind of developed to help you relax. You got some good museums, you got some historic sites, and you got really good food, but also you get the chance to sit back, relax, and take it all in. And that's one of the shocking things when you come to France. You're so used to go see all the stuff. You get a chance to see stuff and relax at the same time, and that's why we love Normandy, and it is shockingly how much we do love this place. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you do, click that subscribe button down there, and you get more videos like this every Wednesday and Saturday. We put out more travel videos. Also, we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all those places, so you can follow us there. We really appreciate your likes and subscriptions, and if you want to learn more, top 10 sites to see here in Normandy, 5 things you love and hate about Normandy, what to eat when you're here, and of course, what to drink when you're here, it's all on our website at woltersworld.com. We really appreciate your likes and subscriptions, and we wish you a great day and a great time here in Normandy. We know you'll have one, so au revoir.